You ever get hit with that electric jolt in your gut that whispers something colossal is brewing inside the Lion's kingdom, but every mouthpiece stays tight-lipped, like they're guarding the last ember of a Detroit comeback story? Like a storm swelling on the horizon, invisible yet unstoppable, simmering beneath the surface of training camp chatter and media noise. There's an unspoken truth hanging in the sweat-soaked air of Ford Field, crawling through the corridors where the real architects of this team's resurrection plot their masterstroke. You want to scream, to yell at the heavens. What's the secret? Who's pulling the strings that will finally make us the monster we've waited decades to unleash? Well, you better yell now, because beneath all that grit and grind, behind closed doors where only the truest Lions know the stakes, insiders have been whispering the name. That name is Sam Laporta. Yeah, not the flashy receiver or the veteran QB everyone drools over, but a tight end with fire in his eyes and a heart-beating Detroit Blue, who just dropped a bombshell that could light a fire under everyone's ass around here. Sam believes with, unshakable faith that John Morton, the new offensive coordinator who stepped quietly but carries a brain wired to electrify the pass game, is the key to not just maintaining, but legendary the Lions' offense we've seen flashes of in seasons past. Laporta didn't tiptoe around it. No cautious optimism or therapist speak. He said flat out, Johnny Moe is a brilliant mind, and he's going to call the offense great. Now hear that? This is not just some coach shuffle to keep the media entertained. This is the lifeblood of Detroit's attack breathing steady, ready to explode. With Hank Fraley, our own silent warrior, still running the run game show and orchestrating that brutal ground movement we crave, the offense keeps its deadly balance. Think about it, the run game that pounds opponents into dust while the pass game twists defenses into knots, and the man calling the shots is a master tactician proven at every level. It's the kind of setup that sends shivers down the spine of division rivals, steals sleep from defensive coordinators, and injects the fan base with wild hope we've long been starved for. This is the Detroit Lions ethos distilled, raw talent, relentless culture, and leadership forged in the fires of constant struggle. We've endured everything from the endless rebuild cycles that felt like they'd never end, the heartbreak years stuck in losing spirals, to the moments of fleeting promise that broke our hearts even harder. Since '91, the agony of defeat has been a cruel shadow over the city's roar. But it's in that pain, the loss, the fight, the sweat-drenched grit that the soul of Detroit is carved. And now, it feels like the stars might just be aligning. But here's where it grabs you by the throat. Because if this gamble on Morton and the face Sam Laporta's putting out there pays off, what then? What if this isn't just a tweak or a stepping stone, but the ignition that lights a playoff run so fierce it drowns out all the years of scars? What if this offense becomes a juggernaut that no one in the NFC North can stop? And what if the culture Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have been obsessively building isn't some feel-good story, but the last real shot to turn Detroit into a legend? Before the window slams shut, the magic fades, and all we have left is regret, I'm telling you, this isn't a drill or a dry memo. This is a call to arms. We're on the cusp of something too wild to fully grasp, a secret alliance of minds and talent coming together that might finally shove us into the spotlight, or break us against the rocks one last time. But you gotta stay tuned, eyes wide, open, because if this domino falls, you won't believe who's next to rise, who's been waiting just out of frame to punch through the darkness and make history. And if this move hits, if Morton's offense roars as Laporta believes it will, Detroit's not just coming back. We're coming for blood. The fuse is lit, the whispers are growing louder, and all that's left now is to wait for the explosion. So if your heart's pounding for Detroit, make some noise down below, because believe me, this ride is just getting started. Enough silence. Roar now or forever be forgotten. That's the rally cry burning in the veins of Detroit fans who've seen this city bleed blue for decades, who remember the heartbreaks that cut like scars across our collective soul, who know deep down in their bones that this season, this moment right here, Is the crossroads finally about to fracture? Either we surge into history or get crushed beneath the weight of what's come before. The locker room's tension ain't just about X's and O's. It's about ghosts that haunt the hallways, those ghostly whispers of 0 to 16 nightmares, of Calvin Johnson walking away in tears, of Barry Sanders quietly slipping into the shadows, of Dan Orlovsky pinching himself in the clutch, while fan dreams of a redemptive era flicker like dying embers, the kind of pain that's ignited Detroit's relentless grit for generations. You see, insiders whisper that this isn't just strategic tinkering. It's a rebirth, a seismic shift fueled by raw instinct. Brains wired to shatter the fences. Morton's offense is the storm no one sees coming, the tsunami waiting to drown. The NFC North's pride and Sam Laporta, that young lion with fire in his eyes, believes it with relentless certainty because he sees the blueprint of a Detroit offense forged in the fires of agonizing failure, tempered with unbreakable resolve and driven by the roller coaster ride of history screaming to be rewritten. It's not just about the playbook. It's about proving the doubters wrong, silencing the cynics who say Detroit's glory days are dead, that the city's roar has been muted forever. Inside that locker room, where every sweat-drenched face hides fears and hopes, there's a code and unspoken understanding that this is more than football. It's survival. It's the pride that survived Jim Caldwell's firing, survived the chaos of Matt Patricia's clown show, survived the heartbreak of last season's wild card collapse against the Vikings, a reminder that the Lions are survivors, champions forged in fire. Now they're betting everything on this new dynamic, this untested offensive genius Morton, the silent titan behind the curtain, the brain with a vision that's as wild as the city itself in Laporta, embodying Detroit's relentless spirit. Says that Johnny Moe is the man to carve a new dynasty, not just a good team, but a beast unrivaled. Every yard gain, every pass threaded through defiant defenders, fuels the anticipation that something historic is brewing, something that could finally wake up this city from its long slumber of broken promises. Think about it, what if this is the start of something so monumental it rewrites the script of football in the NFC North, making the Packers and Bears and Vikings tremble at the mere mention of Detroit's resurgence? What if Campbell's grit, Holmes' vision, Laporta's tenacity, and Morton's brilliance collide in a perfect storm we've only glimpsed in the shadows of preseason? The undercurrent of this revival is chaos beneath calm. It's the quiet before the storm that will wipe clean decades of despair, but that storm is waiting, just out of sight, its thunder rumbling beneath the surface, ready to explode at any moment. Because if Laporta is right, and he's got that look in his eyes, the kind that says he's seen the future, then Detroit football isn't just back. It's about to make history that echoes beyond the borders of Ford Field, beyond the division, beyond even the NFL. This isn't a hype train. It's an ominous movement stalking the horizon, a movement that could end decades of heartbreak with a single devastating blow, or blow apart in a flash, leaving the city shattered once more, lost in the shadows of what could have been. So ask yourself, are we ready to ignite this beast? Or are we doomed to keep waiting for the other shoe to drop the moment our hopes get crushed under the weight of the past? Because the clock's ticking, and the real question is, when that first lightning strikes, who will be left standing to claim the crown of Detroit's second coming? Because trust me, this is just the beginning, and the next chapter is about to be written in blood, sweat, and the roaring thunder of a city hungry to rise again. And if Laporta is right, if this offense explodes, if Morton's genius takes hold, if Campbell's warriors fight like their lives depend on it, what's lying just beyond the horizon, waiting to blow open the gates of eternity, is something we never saw coming, but now it's only a matter of time before the earth shatters beneath our feet. And the question remains, will we be the ones to finally seize the moment, or get swallowed in the shadows of our own history, forever chased by the ghosts of what could have been?